sort of painted as a new way of building a brand. How much opposition was there within the organization, and how did you overcome the idea that, well, this is really unproven? Why are we going this route?
I think it actually speaks to the bigness of the Pepsi Refresh project, that these conversations were actually very natural to have. So this project felt and is so different from anything we'd ever done before that it really required a fundamental new look, a new approach to how we would launch it. And so the conversation was, obviously we spent a lot of time discussing different approaches, different ways in, but fundamentally everybody quickly aligned that the best way to drive the viral buzz that we need for this program was from the ground up, as opposed to just sort of, you know, a one-day celebration of the message. So we generated alignment pretty quickly.
Okay. Is that going to be the main way you're going to measure the success? And how would that be different from the traditional marketing program?
Yeah, I think the primary goals that we have for this program are, first of all, to see the visible impact of the work that we're doing. So we're giving away millions of dollars and thousands of grants, and our real hope is that we're going to see tangible results from that we can highlight and celebrate. We'll look at metrics like how many consumers are voting, how many people are engaged, how are people, you know, engaging with the brand when they come and spend time with us. But ultimately, we just want to build a buzz around this program, and that's how we're going to measure success.
Max, you guys work a lot with brands in order to tap into this. What do you think is kind of driving this from an overall level?
Okay, so when we started Good, we were kind of confronted with this problem in our society. So that was that we and the people we really respected wanted to make a difference. And we thought it was kind of the coolest thing around to make a difference. And yet the idea of doing good was something that was branded in our culture as something that was soft, naive, passive, self-righteous. You couldn't make money from it. You couldn't have fun doing it. And that just created this really big challenge where, you know, it was a conflict. You know, you work and then, you know, in the evening you do something pro bono. But there's really been this shift with the internet. You know, I think right now there's never been more awareness of the problems that we face. And I think at the same time, you know, people are really motivated to dig in and engage those problems. So it's just been, it's been wild to see how, you know, I think, so excuse me, these are kind of broad strokes, but I think what happens is when you do something that aligns your interests with making a difference, it feels really good, and you enjoy doing it, and you want to do more of it. And so I think we're in this moment where we're learning how it's okay to align our interests with doing good, and in fact, it's going to serve us all really well.
So how's that changed how you work with brands? Like, what are the kind of things you're encouraging to do with brands?
Well, yeah, I mean, so we started a magazine 3 years ago. It's a really crazy thing to do in the 21st century. And people responded very positively. They loved it. But I think the business model is in flux. And there were kind of two key areas there. You know, circulation. How do you get people to sign up? And, you know, social media is wild with it. You know, we have 360,000 Twitter followers. It just happens really quickly with social media. So that's key is, you know, how do you use digital to kind of grow your reach? But in terms of your question, how do we work with brands? It's really interesting right now how there's a dynamism to the brand collaboration. It's not about just a traditional, I want to advertise and reach these people. It's kind of, you know, I think it's always been about a brand wants to take a big idea and make it happen. But now with social media, it becomes kind of a more dynamic process. And in terms of us, you know, in terms of articulating this shift where aligning people's and businesses' interests in terms of doing good, I think we're seeing that brands really want to do this, and so we're, you know, serving as a partner to help them.
You work with brands to sort of leverage the Facebook platform. I mean, who's doing it right, and how, you know, how important is them tapping into this sort of wellspring of wanting to do good?
Well, I have to take my hat off to Starbucks. I think Starbucks has really captured the essence of both top-down and bottom-up marketing on our platform. Bottom-up, they've driven a community of over 5.5 million fans, and they go back and they touch that community 3 times a week with a very nice cadence. They entertain once, they ask a question, they'll make an offer. So they've got that CRM platform going on Facebook. But they also, through Nielsen, study messaging lift, brand lift. So they've got their arms around both. As far as social and doing good, I think this refresh program is phenomenal. I mean, charities are huge on the Facebook platform, and I think Pepsi is really diving into something that's going to be very, very big and very, very interactive on our platform.
So, Lauren, how do you deal with, I mean, there's a lot of cynicism out there, and we've seen earlier efforts in the sort of charity realm maybe go off the rails a little bit as people start to say, oh, it was gamed or something like this, and Chase recently had a little bit of a problem with this, and Amex even, I believe, had a problem with that too. How much of a concern was that going into the refresh project, and what sort of safeguards are in place?
First, I want to clarify, because we view the Pepsi Refresh Project very different from other sort of charitable giving efforts that corporations are doing, because it's really about consumers' ideas, and so it's not about a specific charity. And the reason that's so important to us is because we think the reach we can have in local communities around the world is so much more powerful that way. So I just want to clarify that. But in terms of, we have obviously learned a ton from watching people go before us. The number one approach we're taking as we launch this program is full and utter transparency in everything we're doing. We're just being extremely open. And so while we know we're not going to be devoid of all criticism, and people will have opinions on why didn't this win or why did that win, it's completely a democratized process, and the rules are clearly posted, and we're going to live to the letter of what we prescribe to be the rules. So there should be no gray areas.
Mm-hmm. So was there any discussion though going in about if, what happened? Because I think a lot of in talking to a lot of brands, there's still a lot of concern out there of Ignite